Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Carlette and I am reading chapter 17, Best State Ever. You can see the map of Texas here. We've got state motto is friendship. We've got the state tree is the pecan tree. The capital is Austin. The state flower is the bluebonnet. The state bird is the mockingbird. Fun fact, Texas chili doesn't have beans. And then there's a couple things that Scoob has drawn. Got something here, and we've got something here. Let's find out about it. Best day ever. They cross into Texas and drive for a while without stopping, which is a huge relief to Scoob, knowing they're finally making some real progress on this journey, he guesses it is. Scoob's seen the map. The city they're headed to is literally right across the border. His new hope is that once they make it to Juarez and Gma fixes or finishes or makes whatever it is right, her conscience will be so clear, her hair will turn green like Go or something, and she'll be so relieved we'll hop back into the RV and hightail it home. After another gas run and pause for lunch 17 miles outside of Dallas, at least according to the sign they've just passed, they push on. It's nice. Scoob's got his window down and the fresh air gusting into his face as they gobble miles and miles of Texas open road. Clears his head in a way he doesn't expect. He actually falls asleep, which he only discovers when Gma touches his leg and he jerks awake so hard, both arms fly into the air and he squawks like a startled chicken. Gma laughs hard. Sleeping good? Not funny, Gma, Scoob says, rubbing his eyes. Well, if you'll indulge me one final stop on this trek of ours, I'll make the interrupted slumber worth your while. Another stop. I'd like to fulfill what's been a dream of mine for a very long time. Oh, Scoob sits up in his seat, fully alert now. Okay. She doesn't say anything else until they're taking an exit into Arlington. It's the exit for... No way. Gma, are we going to Six Flags? When she looks at him this time, Scoob sees her. His Gma. The one he's known his whole life. The biggest belly laugh ever bubbles out of him. I knew you'd be into it, she says. It's why you're my favorite grandson. She makes her white eyebrows dance. There's no expressing how good it feels to have her back. Scoob has to say he's never seen Gma this awestruck before. She looks like one of those white kids in Christmas movies who wake up to a tree packed with presents underneath, like the whole world was just handed to her on a gold-rimmed plate. We gotta find the runaway mine train, Scooby-Doo, she says. The Six Flags we have in Georgia opened in '67, and one of their premier rides was the Dahlonega mine train. Runaway's the Texas version. Wait, really? Scoob's never been to Six Flags over Georgia, but he's heard of the Dahlonega mine train. Yep. As your G-Pop and I passed that park on our way out of Atlanta, I was sad. I knew I'd never get to experience a place like that with him. There wasn't a theme park in the South that would have permitted it. Now Scoob is sad too. But there's redemption, she practically shouts. When you and me stopped for gas not too long ago, I noticed an old poster for this Six Flags on one of the walls. Had a mine train ride on it and everything. Now Scoob is smiling. Gma would notice a random poster in a gas station. Asked the attendant about it, and he told me the thing's still in operation. Oldest coaster in the park, he said. I knew right then we'd have to stop. Scoob consults the map, and they get to walking. But as soon as they're standing in front of the entrance and he sees how rickety the ride looks, he feels like his stomach has dropped down to his ankle region. Scoob murmurs as a question pops into his head in Dad's voice. How exactly old is this coaster? Built in '66, according to the fella. Ain't that amazing? It was here when your G-Pop and I started on our trip. Would have passed right by it had we made it this far. 1966. It's older than Dad. That's really old for a roller coaster. You sure this thing is safe, Gma? Scoob says as they step into the line, a line that isn't very long, which doesn't seem like a good sign. Oh, don't be such a killjoy, she says. You think they'd let people on the thing if it wasn't safe? Nobody wants a lawsuit, Scooba-Doob. Scoob's look is skeptical. Gma looks excited. They're getting on the ride. He guesses she's got a point there. Come on! After a 15-minute wait, during which Gma bounces on the balls of her tiny feet like she's never been so excited in her life, they climb into the very front coaster car. Oh boy. Despite the fact that the thing squawks and groans like it's complaining about having a bad back the moment Scoob and Gma sit down, and the initial takeoff is so jerky that Scoob feels like his lunch is about to reappear in his trousers, once they're fully in motion, the ride winds up being pretty fun. He's sure it's partially due to Gma's whoops and wheeze and squeals of glee from beside him, but by the time they get off, he's feeling pretty exhilarated. Let's find a bigger one, Gma shouts, her poof of white hair standing up all over her head like she stuck a butter knife in a toaster. Scoob did that once. He doesn't recommend it. A bigger what? Coaster! And she throws her hands in the air. So they do. There's the shockwave. Scoob has no idea what G's are, but the ride promises 5.9 of them. And based on how his heart flip-flops around inside his body, he'd say it delivers. And then the Joker. A strange one for sure. They spend more time upside down than right side up. The Titan's massive drop makes Scoob feel like his brain got left back at the top of the metal hill. And on and on. When he and Gma step up to the Superman Tower of Power, what they've decided will be their final ride, Scoob's eyebrows shoot up to his hairline. He has to tilt his head back as far as it'll go to see the top of the thing. And the whole experience winds up being way worse than he expects. He's pretty sure his lungs stay on the ground as they shoot 32 stories into the air, and he definitely dies for a few seconds during the drop. But once their feet are back on the ground, he hugs Gma so tight she yelps, "Don't break me, kiddo!" He lets go and looks her right in the eye. Gma? Yes? Thank you. What for? He hugs her again. For making this the best day ever. That's the end of the chapter.